Hello and welcome back to Films from Mars, where we explore physical media, forgotten classics, cult cinema, and movies that leave us staring at the screen wondering, what planet did we just land on? Today we're diving into one of the most challenging and unforgettable films ever made, The Piano Teacher. This has been on my watch list for quite some time. I'm a big fan of Michael Haneke's work. He did Amour, White Ribbon, Funny Games. He remade Funny Games again. Early trilogy of films I haven't seen of his, but now I really want to watch it because this was quite good. I've always been told Isabelle Huppert, who's the main actress in this was like one of the greatest acting performances of all time, and they were quite right. So what The Piano Teacher is about is Erica. She plays a respected piano instructor in Vienna. She's teaching a whole bunch of different students in college the piano teacher, and she's intensely controlled and dominated by her routine with the teaching the kids and her overbearing mother. She even sleeps in like quasi the same bed with her every night. So there's things a little weird about her. A young student comes in and he is extremely good at the piano, and he starts developing feelings for her. He decides to sign up for her classes even though he's a bit older, and the board rubber stamps him in, gets him in the class. What follows is an extremely uncomfortable and psychologically devastating examination of obsession or regression and power. I mentioned earlier, Hubert's performance, just phenomenal. It sticks with you. The first 45 minutes of this movie or so, I'm going to be diving into some spoilers. You kind of don't know exactly how intense the movie's going to go, and then it just starts ramping up with the weirdness and the intensity. And she, for the most part, has, little dialogue in some ways. I think Haneke's, looking at a lot of his inspirations, he really likes Bresson's films like Man Escaped or Pickpocket, or and those are sometimes clinical with images and the mood and building scenes that pay off later, and definitely in this movie. I don't think it's slow or like slow cinema at all, but you kind of have to be in the mood for this sort of thing. But man, I watched it, and when it goes there, it goes there. There's definitely an interesting dynamic between the classical music and where this movie eventually goes to that I think is pretty interesting. And I guess really popping into spoilers now, I really think this movie has a lot of elements with something like Taxi Driver, which is my favorite movie. And, instead of the incel character with Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, this is sort of the, I think they call it femcel, with Erica's character. It isn't the neo-noir, neo-western that Taxi Driver is, but it shows the sexual regression and the just sort of a stranger in a strange land kind of feeling that a person can have. The mother's character in this movie, I think it's just called Mother. They don't actually give her a name, but she has this overbearing sense to her, and you can tell all of the years of discipline and sleeping weirdly next to her, all affecting her. When the relationship with the young student and her start firing on, all cylinders, well, I guess all cylinders, but when that starts becoming, part of the movie, man, does it go there. And there's just a lot of things to challenge the audience. They do not sugarcoat this. I mean, this is the heavy R-rated movie, if you will. This is based on a novel, and did not read the novel, but from what I've read, this is a pretty good adaptation of it. I think the one thing that you probably would gain from what I've been reading is obviously a lot of the visuals, and Haneke's way he paces the movie kind of fit a lot of the psychological of the novel, where they have to kind of explain the character. This, I think, kind of leaves it open a little bit. Like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, I think you kind of paint Erica as, you know, is she a villain? Is she, you know, a victim? Is she just kind of, I think she's probably both, but, you know, I think that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if it kind of ends in, you know, an interesting way where you don't know the next day, you know, which is great. I don't know, you know, this came out in, I believe, 2001. And I just don't think they would make a movie like this fully now. Or if they did, maybe it would get just kind of some of the visuals and the sexuality would probably, you know, get flagged and it'd become a thing. But I'm very, very glad I watched this recently. My favorite boutique Blu-ray label is obviously Criterion. I mean, this is just the way into a lot of, you know, art cinema, international cinema. And what I like so much about the Criterion Collection now, obviously people know about this movie. It's very well regarded. They won Best Actor and Actress in the Cannes Film Festival. But, you know, this is just a great film for the Criterion Collection. I mean, it's you know, I look on the shelf and the similarities of other films are there. You know, the oddness, and the, you know, anyhow. So I feel like, you know, this is a very casually recommended film if you want to dive deeper into, you know, uncomfortable cinema, emotionally exhausting cinema. I mean, I'm not easily offended by anything, and, you know, I can feel that there's multiple scenes in this that would be pretty offensive. But, you know, I think that's for us to decide, and I don't want to fault any of the people that created it for anything that did in the movie. So I really admire this movie. I think it's really worth the time, and I hope you get a chance to watch it. Thank you again for joining us. Like and subscribe as we find some more cinema treasures. Thanks again, and we'll hope to see you next time.